Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning. 5 more minutes till afternoon. Welcome to Gulfstream Park, beautiful Gulfstream Park, and this is Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Acacia Courtney, and we're going to have a 9-race card this afternoon. We got a fast main track, a firm turf course, and boy, the Rainbow Six is starting to build again, approaching $100,000, and we have 9 races, so that'll start in race number 4 this afternoon. So how was your 2 days off?
It was nice. It's nice. I hope I got a little bit of tan, I guess, over the past couple of days, make it actually look like I work in Florida. But as you said, fun, exciting week coming up. And do want to remind you, on Friday, our post time will move to 1:15 p.m., a little bit later than the 12:55. Still 12:55 Wednesday and Thursday this week.
Yeah, Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, as you mentioned, it'll be 1:15, and we're going to have a 5-day race week, so it should be a good week to bet some stuff here at a beautiful Gulfstream Park. So with that said, let's run through the wagering menu. We got 2 pick 5s this afternoon. First one starts in race number 1, and in case you'll have a ticket in just a couple of moments. And then we got the Rainbow Six, as I just mentioned, starting in race number 4 today, approaching that $100,000, $93,000 plus. It's certainly going to skyrocket over that. And then in race number 5 this afternoon, our second pick 5 of the day.
Yes, and that will start in the 5th race, as you mentioned. And then we have that rolling super high 5 that starts in the 6th race today. Again, that's any race with 7 or more runners in it, so keep an eye out for that throughout the afternoon. Starts in the 6th race today, and that's it.
Yeah, we'll be ready to go. So let's go right to race number 1. This one is 7 1/2 furlongs on the turf. Claimers 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life, $12,500. We'll have 6 runners in this field, and as we mentioned, Acacia's going to show you her first of 2 pick 5 tickets.
All right, we'll give you a look at my ticket. You can see very early in the wagering, all the money coming to the number 5, Menahune. Now, I have been burnt by that horse just a few too many times, so I will use him, but I do like Ari Dios to kick things off in here. 2 by 2 by 2. 3 in the 4th, and then spreading with 4 in the 5th race. A little bit of a reverse pyramid angle here today, so just $48.
And Menahune, as you mentioned, 1 for 21. So, burned us both a lot there. So I also started with the one Aradeos, and this one is dropping to the 12.5 level and stretching out around 2 turns this afternoon. Bumped at the start, went up, tracked the pace, finished 5th. It was a 16, 2 lifetime claimer going 5/8 a mile. I think he's part of the pace at this distance.
I absolutely do, too. I like that he has the rail post position. And if you go back to his last win, that was at Gulfstream Park West when he broke his maiden back in November. And he wired the field that day. He was breaking from the rail as well, and he won by 3.5 lengths. I thought it was a really impressive performance, and that's the only other time that he's gone the 7.5 furlongs. So I love the stretch out in distance for him, second off the layoff.
Well, we mentioned Menahune. Give it one more go at trying to notch this elusive second career victory. As I just mentioned, 21 starts, 1 win, but 7 seconds, 4/3. He's a classic horse to use in the exacta this afternoon. Boy, it's hard to leave him off the ticket and hard to put him on the ticket.
Yes, it is. And he's tried the turf, he's tried the dirt, he's tried all sorts of different things. And I definitely do prefer him on the turf versus on the dirt. That does seem to be his preferred surface. But that being said, he still does have a tough time breaking through. He finished a solid second last time. He will be forwardly placed. They just tried to look for an alternative, especially if he promises to be a short price.
Well, number 2, Rosebud's High, is eligible to show more after trying the turf for the first time last June. So it's been 10 races since he tried the turf. He finished in a duel and fade 4th behind aforementioned Menahune. So we're going back to the turf, giving it a try after, 10 races.
And he does have some speed to him as well. So with that inside post, I hope that he doesn't get hooked up in some sort of pace duel with Ari Dios toward the inside. He does look like he'll be on the engine, especially with apprentice Nicky Figueroa in the saddle.
Well, let's go to race number 2 this afternoon, 5 1/2 furlongs. These are starter optional claimers, 4-year-olds and up, which have started for $8,000 or less, or the optional claiming price of $10,000. And 6 in the field, and we got our good buddy in here, Blings Express, a 6-time local winner, includes the score at this level and distance. Last out totes the 123 highway this afternoon, so picking up a couple of pounds to try to slow him down.
He is, and I actually almost singled Bling's Express. If I were to single in the early pick 5, this did look to be the horse to do it, but I backed myself up with Mitos y Leyendas. But Bling's Express, I thought he ran a huge race last time out. He didn't end up getting the lead last time. He did manage to win by just a neck. He was bet down 50 cents to the dollar, and I think that he showed another dimension that time, that he doesn't need to be on the lead in order to win, which should be good for him because he'll have some speed and take pressure from the outside, and Fish Fan and Harry He for sure, and probably Dr. J Dub to the inside. So he can sit just in the catbird seat right behind that speed, and he's just coming in excellent form.
Well, you know, Dr. J Dub is going to try drop to this level in the dirt after second consecutive 5 furlong turf sprints against Better. He breaks from the rail. You know, he went up, as you mentioned, he set the pace. He weakened, finished 4th behind Bling's Express last time out. I just thought that maybe, you know, they're just searching to get this horse back to the winner's circle. The drop, the move to the main track seemed to help him. I can understand Mitos y Leyendas being, you know, in second, and we're basically in agreement with the top 3 horses in here.
And the thing with Dr. J Dub, he looked to me like he loved sprinting 5 furlongs on the turf, and hopefully he would just get the right setup that he would blast and go out to the front and not be caught. And that's exactly what happened the last time he won, which was in Graded Stakes Company. He's 0 for 5 on a fast main track, but I did think Mitos y Leyendas switching back to the dirt after trying the turf last time is one that can close. I thought that Bling's Express might be one maybe to stalk or even be part of the pace scenario, but Mitos y Leyendas we know is going to be running late, and that's just tactically where I thought he really would have the advantage.
Yeah, and you sort of got to put his line through that race on the turf. You know, he was 3rd behind Bling's Express on February 1st. He goes back to the main track. You know, just didn't seem to handle that turf course last time out. Race 3 this afternoon is 7 furlongs, maiden claimers, 3-year-olds and up, $12,500. We do have a scratch in here of the number 6, and that's Quality A-Rod, and that was my top pick. I don't know if it was yours.
I actually put that horse in second as I picked him last time, and he did disappoint, but I always had the number 2, Luck is Back, on top. Just thinking that this is a horse that just might get the right field today and the right setup. Now, he's got some speed to him. He showed early speed in those last couple of starts. He did get beaten as the favorite last time out, but I did think Nephew Howard D was a logical other horse, if you will, and his last 2 races were pretty strong, so he might be able to get the nod today.
Well, the horse that we have in second, number 3, Do It Fast, is stretching out and adding blinkers today after rallying to finish 5th. You're going to go back and just show you. I thought he ran okay. He faced Simla going 6 furlongs last night. So we're going to just pick it up as he turns for home. And there you'll see he is the number 6 horse this afternoon. And you see him right there. You can let it roll. And he just, I think he runs okay. Now, there's lots of trouble going on between him. So you see he's sitting there. What I liked about it, you see these horses bumping to actually take down. But what I like to stop it right there is that I like the way that he just starts to close in here, and it runs well. You know, after it's over, you see right now, you can roll it now, and you'll see him come on, and he just finds that other gear there, and I thought that was okay. You know, he keeps coming. You think he was over, and he keeps coming, and he runs up, and he still finishes 4th. There was a disqualification, so he finished 5th. He got placed 4th in that particular race. So I just thought after the performance to go back and show you. I like the way he closed. He's stretching out the 7 furlongs. Maybe that's enough for him to get the job done this afternoon.
It could be. He's adding the blinkers on, and maybe that'll get him a little bit of an earlier kick, because the comment is belated response, and just in the short comment of that race. And I do think that's actually a good way to put it. Maybe it was because there was all that commotion going on in front of him, but it looked like he really needed to get rolling a little bit sooner in order to actually make some damage. And I think that that's kind of just been the case in his last couple of starts. Earlier on in his career, he used to be part of the pace. Maybe now he's trying to be a little bit more forwardly placed. He'll have the apprentice, 7-pound apprentice allowance, and the blinkers added.
And he's got to be close to the pace, because you're only dealing with a 5-horse field this afternoon. You just can't sit too far back and let the pace dictate how he's going to run today. You went with the number 5, and he has signs to win. This horse has some early speed, but boy, does he stop.
Yes, he does stop. And I just kind of was looking at the rest of the field. The number 1 New York Boy actually ran okay in his debut. Now, he was scratched at the gate on the 16th, so he just kind of refused to load that day. And so I was kind of moving hesitantly with him. We'll see if he does end up getting to the gate today.
Yeah, and the #1 New York boy, trained now by Mikhail Yanikov via the claim in there this afternoon. So I think those are the logical horses that you got to look at in there. Luck is back, I think, with the scratch of Quality A-Rod. Certainly jumps off the page, at least in my estimation, in this particular race. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will have race number 4 and the first leg of the Rainbow Six.
At ExpressBet, we celebrate the champions that make horse racing great. That's why we provide more ways to bet from more places than ever. We've built an entire family of brands to give players more of the rewards they deserve, give bettors the information they need to win, and provide a community for horse bettors. Because the best way to support the champions of horse racing is to champion horse racing. ExpressBet. We are racing.
Equestricon.
Equestricon.
The first ever international racing convention.
The first ever. For the fans.
Meet the legends.
The breeders, the owners.
The jockeys like me.
The best of the industry.
Come celebrate racing at Equestricon.
And we're back here at Gulfstream today. Ron and Acacia, 4th race, 1 mile on the turf, maiden claim is fillies and mares. 3 and up, $35,000 scratch. Both main track only participants. Number 7, Night Before. Number 8, Helen, Virginia. And as I mentioned, the Rainbow Six starts here. Almost $100,000, 93 plus. It'll skyrocket way over that this afternoon. Let's show you my ticket. And I stepped it up a little bit because we have that nice carryover starting today. And I went 3 deep in here. And you see in race number 8, I'm singling a horse this afternoon, and it's a tough place to single, but I like Turncoat this afternoon just on figures alone, $57.60, and the rest of the races I thought were pretty wide open. That's why I went so deep.
I like that tactic. I do think that you'll need that, and this is the kind of sequence that if you do have a strong opinion about a particular horse, I think I used your single in 4th, so that's the way that this goes. But if you do have a strong opinion, that is the place that you can single and maybe spread in a couple other places.
Well, I started it off with the #1 horse in here, and that's Mo's Ginny, and I'll tell you why. Stretching out to a mile after returning from a layoff, debuting locally for trainer David Force, and finishing a rallying 4th against this level of competition. But I want to go back and show you this horse. When it rallies was the 4 this afternoon, so we're going to go and hit the telestrator, and you can see on the outside, this is the horse. Watch, we'll let it roll. The number 4 horse here, just out there. Stop it right there. You will see that this horse is all the way out here, so you can see just how much he is out farther than everybody else. So we'll see how that works. And now let it roll. And just takes the overland route and comes rolling loud, actually out of the screen right now. And I just thought he ran a farther race, and he got some really late interest there. You see the 4 closing, and I think he runs okay. So I went off the, being wide there last time out. David Fawkes, really respect the barn. You got C.J. McMahon in the saddle, and you see he closes 4th there. I just thought he was extra wide in that race, and I think that a closer trip, he can run well in there. I don't know what he is on the morning line, 4th choice or something like that.
Well, I stared at this horse for a long time, and I just didn't really know what to do with her because, yes, it was off of a layoff. It was her first time with the barn, and she was very wide in that race. It was actually a pretty strong for level race, so I certainly will give her that. But it just, she's been exposed, she's been exposed, and made in claiming company at the $40,000 level, kind of a lateral move to the 35, maybe even a little bit of a drop last time out. But again, it was a tougher level race, and she's always been far back and had to close, and she does end up finding trouble or get stuck wide, and I do kind of wonder what she'll end up doing with that, breaking from the rail post position. If she is far back and she has to work out that trip, it's going to be a tough ask for her here today. Now, if she is a little bit closer, which if you just look through her past performances, she never really has been, that was the concern that really did stand out to me. But she was closing very strongly in the stretch last time out, so I do respect her off of that. I did land on the number 2, Two-Step Blues, dropping down in class. She was also exposed against Maiden Claiming Company before. That was back in February. And in that race, she actually had some sneaky trouble. She was checked back to last at the start in there, then had no room, had to tap the brakes again. But she just expended so much energy early on, getting cut off a couple times. So I'll be forgiving, give her a try.
Yeah, I mean, I got to run the ticket for all the reasons you mentioned. Even on my Rainbow Six ticket, she was ranked early. She still finished 4th. It was against state-bred maiden special weight competition. Jose Pinchin's the trainer. He's got MSCL Jaramillo in the saddle. Now, we both had some interest in the number 5 horse in here, but what about the 3 in here, a horse I did not use?
Well, the 3 is maiden special weight, 2 maiden claiming, 4 trainer Todd Pletcher, and now if you look just at stats on that maiden special weight to maiden claiming on the turf at Gulfstream, he's 26% win out of 34 horse sample size, 59% in the money. It is a $1.62 ROI. She was pretty cool on the board in her debut, but I do respect the barn, of course.
I just don't like Todd Pletcher barn when they go to the turf. I just, you know, if they beat me, they beat me, but I just, one of the angles I never really liked, and even though if there's good stats, just tells me something that the barn is searching for something. Now, the number 5, Giants Causey, is a $145,000 daughter of Giants Causeway, debuting at the $35,000 level for trainer Christophe Clement, and he's only 11% with his debut maiden claimers.
He is, but we'll show you a stat on trainer Christophe Clement. First-time starters on the turf at the maiden claiming level. He's just 8% over the past 5 years. 3 for 38, 39% in the money, a negative ROI of 75%. And I think that this barn does excellent work, but there are a few things that really do concern me. That is one of them. The fact that she cost $145,000 and is debuting for the $35,000 tag. Also, she was entered on March 15th at the maiden claiming level as well, and she was scratched. Took another month before she got back and entered again, actually going to make it to the racetrack. So a couple little red flag signs for me.
Yeah, I mean, you got to respect the connections, and you know, you're dealing with a 6-horse field, and I think it's a good spot for that horse. Now let's go to race number 5. 5 furlongs on the turf. Claimers, fillies and mares 3 and up, non-winners of 3 in life, or a race since November 1st, or 3-year-olds. So triple conditions in this race. We're going to scratch the number 1 horse in here, Frisbee. So we'll be dealing with 6 runners in the field. This kicks off our final pick 5 of the afternoon, and let's see your ticket.
All right, we'll give you a look at my ticket, and trying to keep it affordable. I did just go too deep in this opening leg, but if you remember in the early pick 5, they do overlap. I used a couple more horses in this race, so that makes me a bit nervous, but I wanted to spread in the 8th race, which I believe was your single, Ron. So that's how everything goes, and I did use the horse that you singled. So 2, 2, 2, 4, and 3, $48.
I'm sorry, what just started with Bistro Moncour?
I did.
I had this one further down my ticket. I used them on my Rainbow Six to save. I had 4 horses in this race, but I went a different way in here.
And it's funny because this is a filly that I've actually picked against in her last few starts, and she's won without me for sure. She won nicely last time out, but we'll show a trainer stat on Wesley Ward in the past 5 years. Winners last time out, turf sprints, mid-level claiming races at Gulfstream. 5 for 16, 31% win, 12 for 16 in the money 75% of the time, and it's still a positive ROI of 210. Now this filly, she won nicely last time out. That's when Carlos Hernandez was an apprentice. He no longer has the apprentice allowance. Now he's a journeyman. And it's funny, she's actually changed her running style to be closing from off the pace. I do like her in this spot.
Well, you know, I'm trying to beat her. I mean, I couldn't leave her off the ticket. I had to put her on the ticket as far as the Rainbow Six goes, but I'm trying to beat her with the 4 horse in here, Blazing Diamond. I'll tell you why. Dropping a notch on the claiming scale. Responded last time out to the surface switch with a 3rd place finish. Beaten 1 1/4 lengths in a 16 claimer at the distance. Orby Mirage. Eddie Castro in the saddle. And I just thought this was the logical contender. And I mean, you got it on the ticket. We basically have the 4 horses just box around a different way. But the horse you do have in second is the horse that I have in second, and that's Keeker.
And going back quickly to Blazing Diamond for a minute, she did get a 68 buyer speed figure for that race last time out, so that's why I didn't want to leave her off in the early pick 5, and maybe if you do have a chance to spread a little bit in the late pick 5, that would be the one. But Keeker, I like her going back to the turf. Now, last time out, she just looked fantastic. I even wrote a note that she outlooked the entire field, finished second on the dirt. Now, first off the claim, she'll go back to the turf. Most of her wins actually did come on the synthetic. She was 0 for 10 on the dirt, so maybe switching back to the turf will help her.
You know, there was only a 6,250 claimer last time out, but I think she figures right there. You know, she's a previous winner at this distance on the turf, moved to the Chris Gaddis barn after that claim, goes back to the grass. Lots of things to like in there. Now, some Roar is hoping to get away from the gate trouble-free, stumbling and dumped the rider 2 starts back and finished a slow starting 5th behind Blazing Diamond last time out. I went back and looked at it. It was just one of those races where this horse just doesn't seem to get out of the gate in a timely fashion.
And she seems to be much better when she's closer to the pace, so that break will really be imperative for her.
Well, let's go to race number 6 this afternoon, and this one is a 1-mile claimer, 3 and up, non-winners of 3 races in life or 3-year-olds, and we have a field of 7 runners in here, and we both have the number 3 Hornerman, who's stretching out today to a mile after setting a pressured pace. He finished second. He was beaten a length. He was the 4-5 favorite against Simla, going 7 furlongs. I just thought he was game last time out, so I wanted to go back and revisit the stretch run, the top of the stretch to the wire. I just thought he was game, and he dueled from there, and we're just going to let it run. He is the number 5 this afternoon, and there you see he's on the lead, and he's getting caught now, so we don't need to show anything else, but just I thought he was game, that he fought to the water and to the wire, and I just think that this spot for him at this mile distance with the stretch out, that is 7 furlongs, is really going to help him this afternoon. And there you see him, he finishes a game second.
It ended up being a 2-horse race, really, and that was first off the claim for the connections as well. Yes, he was bet down to the heavy favorite, but we'll show a trainer stat on Victor Barbosa Jr. just to back up everything that you said, Ron. Second off the claim at the dirt within the money last time out. The horses do take a step forward. 5 for 12, 42% win, and 10 for 12 in the money at 83%. Still a positive ROI of 218. So now second with these connections. Showed a lot of improved speed last time. Should be able to take that step forward.
Well, that makes me feel better that I put this horse on top in here. Now, in second, I used the 6 Getaway a car, and so did you. They're stretching out an additional furlong this afternoon. He rallied strong. He finished second against Simla, going 7/8. Rashawn Creaky secures the services of Tyler Gaffleone. That's got to be a good thing.
Absolutely does. And the barn's been doing very well lately, for sure. And I think that this is a horse you really can't knock that much after his last 4 races, 2 wins, a second and a third since he's moved into this barn. So this is a horse that's been in great form, and I do think that you have to pay attention to the number 1 Fletcher is Golden, a very distant second last time out. I know this is a horse both of us have been chasing a little bit, but I'll put him a little bit further down the ticket today.
Well, he's going to depart from the rail after breaking from the outside last time, but albeit that was only post 6. So he rallied 5 wide, he finished second, but that was to a much the best winner called I'm Stepping Up last time out, and certainly I'm Stepping Up did step up and won that race by multiple lengths. So Fletcher is Golden, one of those horses, as you mentioned, we've been chasing. And, I had to use him on my ticket, went 3 deep here, so I just thought Fletcher is Golden is one that jumps up and beat me. I'm not going to be happy. Race number 7 this afternoon is a 1-mile claimer, fillies and mares, 3 and up, non-winners of 2 in life or 3-year-olds, 12-5. We have the scratch of the morning line favorite in here, Tonina, and I scratched into the number 2, Ecliptical My Way. Did you have the 7 on top, or did you have Liberty Road on top to 6?
I had Tonina on top, so I did end up scratching into Liberty Road. I really like Tonina in this spot, but I do actually have some interest in Liberty Road, and I did all along. She gets in light today, once again, with apprentice Nikki Figueroa in the saddle. I think she's got some speed to her, and she did get caught in some traffic last time out. Now, Make Me was the horse to beat. We saw Beauty of a Day come back and win in her next outing, a really game win that day. And I think that you do have to respect Liberty Road off of her last race and the company that she's been keeping. I think that she's got some sneaky good form to her.
Well, she got some traffic problems last time out with the number 5 Motions. First, they both, sort of banged at the, or you want to call it, hit each other. It wasn't really serious at the top of the stretch, but I like the number 2, Ecliptical My Way, all along. And this one moved to the Armando de la Cerda barn through the claim after following the 12-5 maiden victory at the distance with a chase and fade outing against this caliber competition, going 7 furlongs. But Mr. de la Cerda is really good. He's 3 for 8 with recent claims, very limited sampling. Nick Juarez in the saddle saddle. Lots to like, especially the 8-1 morning line, which I don't think we'll get.
I don't think you will either, especially with the scratch in here. But she does have some dirty form. I mean, that race last time was pretty awful. But I guess it's one of those ones that you do have to just put a line through. She was restless prior. That is the same race we were talking about that Liberty Road and Motions First do come out of. And she just showed a little bit of early. She probably expended a lot of early energy and then did end up stopping. But her races prior to that were pretty strong. She moved over and really did find a home on the dirt.
You know, I wanted to just use 2 in here, 2 and 6, but I had to go back and use Motions First. We mentioned all the reasons. You know, they just brushed at the top of the stretch with Liberty Road. But what I like about this horse, 4 for 4 in the money at the distance, 4 races, 1 win, 2 seconds, and a third. So it looks like the mile is really going to help Motions First. And I just like that angle, and I had to put this horse on my ticket.
And that was going 7/8 last time. And prior to that, she was on the turf, so you can forgive that race for sure. And the race before that, she won by 4 to break her maiden at that mile distance.
Well, race number 8 this afternoon. If you remember, this is where I had my single. 7.5 furlongs on the turf allowance, optional claimant 3 and up, or the optional claiming price of $25,000. And I'll tell you why I like Turncoat number 7. Debuting locally for trainer Keith Bourgeois, rallying to finish third behind that repeat winner. We've been seeing this horse through the past performances over the last couple of days. That's Go Rocket. It was a 30 optional claimer going a mile on the fairgrounds turf. C.J. McMahon is going to be in the saddle. If you do the figures on this race, this horse jumps off the page class-wise. You don't see it in the running lines, but you know, if you follow sheet numbers or anything, just so much better than everybody else. So I just thought bringing this horse over from the fairgrounds, a little bit of guesswork, I'd take a chance and single it.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a good tactic if you wanted to spread in other races, just as we were talking about before. Now, I did have a few reservations about this horse. Certainly do respect him, and if you remember, I spread in this race because I wanted to use all 4 of those horses that we do have on the top. But that race last time out, he was third behind Go Rocket, and we have been seeing that horse with other horses coming to race here locally. My biggest thing is that the horses that have faced Go Rocket haven't won here. Just looking, Hammer's Terror, who was behind Go-Go's Rocket 2 back, didn't end up winning in his next start here. But maybe Turncoat just finds the right field here today. He's certainly coming in strong form, and I like that he gets a little bit of class relief in here too. But I did land on Favorite Air, who comes out of, I thought, a really strong race at Tampa, going 9 furlongs in stakes company, actually $100,000 Turf Classic. Finished third that day with Tyler Gaffleone up. He's going to stick with the mount today. And I think that this one, just coming in off of recency, like a little bit of the turn back to the 7.5.
And the horse certainly loves this course. 11 starts, 3 wins, a second and a third. Shipped up to Tampa, as you mentioned, finished against those state-bred in that state-bred competition in the 9 furlong, $100,000 Turf Classic. Lily Curtinez, Tyler Gaffleone, all the things you mentioned. Certainly, this is the horse to beat in this particular race, but I figured if I'm going to get a price with my Rainbow Six, I'm going to take my chance in this part here. Now, the number 5 horse in here, Modern Tale, is making his first start since finishing second. He finished second in front of a trio of next out winners. It was a key $16,000 claimer on February 25th. Elizabeth Doble's apprentice Nikki Figueroa. It pained me not to put a horse coming out of a key race on my Rainbow Six ticket. That just goes to show you how much of a chance I'm taking with Turncoat.
What has happened to Ron Nicoletti? Where did he go? Yes, the key race angle. And we did see those horses that came back to win get Beyer speed figures in the high 70s or low 80s. So they have actually come and kept their form. Now, maybe this horse, Modern Tale, is technically taking a step up in class from the $16,000 open company, but his Beyer speed figures suggest that he should be competitive against this field. He is comparable. He comes out of the key race, as you said, and the barn has been doing excellent work lately, certainly batting at a high percentage.
Well, let's go to race number 9 this afternoon, our final race on the card. It's 5 furlongs on the turf. Maiden claim is 3 and up, $12,500. Scratch the main track only in here, the number 9 horse, JB's Big Red. And I went with the 3 horse in here, Lost for Words. And this one, I'll tell you why, and then we'll get into the 6 horse in here, Ultimate Dude. Lost for Words dropping to this level today. Returned from a 13-month layoff to finish 4th. Beaten less than 2 lengths in the 20 maiden test at the distance. Henry Colazzo, 10-pound apprentice. Abby Medina in the saddle. I just like the drop in weight. I thought this horse ran okay. Thought it should have won last time out, so I put it on top. But I can understand having the 6 Ultimate Dude on top of the ticket.
And that's kind of why I didn't end up picking Lost for Words, is I did think watching that race he probably should have won. I've been talking about Budding for quite a while. He was a long-time maiden, stuck in finishing in second gear, finally did break through, tried the dirt, then came back to the turf. It was also a turf labeled as good, and it was also off of an extended layoff from February of 2016 to March of 2017. Every reason to assume that he might move forward. I do like him in this spot, but Ultimate Dude had a little bit of trouble last time, and he is second off of a 4-month layoff too. Quickly, we'll show a trainer stat on Michael Yates in the past 5 years. Second off the layoff on the turf at the maiden claiming level, 19% win, 33% in the money, good ROI of over $3, and I just thought that this one looked like he was moving in the right direction.
Well, let's show it.
I like it.
We'll show him moving in the right direction here. We'll pick up, and this is, he's the numbered 6, the horse that they Ultimate Dude. He turns for the home for the wire, and you're going to see him here. You know, he turns for the home, and he sort of brushes, and you'll see him. He's the number 6 horse this afternoon. You can let that roll. And I just think that he, you know, he runs okay in this race. He's further back, and you see him over there, brushes a little bit. Stop it right there, and that's him right there. And he just, you know, got bumped a little bit as you saw it turning for home, and we'll just let it roll. And he, you know, after that, and then I think he just re-rallies, and he runs okay in that race. So he had that little bit of trouble turning for home, and he's game, he's going on. And I would have liked to see a little bit more from that, thus putting him in the second spot there. I thought he should have at least gotten maybe second or third in there.
Yeah, so he probably needed a little bit more kick at the end, but as I said, it was off of a bit of a layoff, so I will be a little bit more forgiving of that. And he really did improve, taking a significant drop in class from 50 maiden to the 12.5 level. It seemed like he ended up in the right spot.
Well, number 2, Arch 1 is dropping to this level, turning back to 5 furlongs. He showed speed and faded when trying 25 maidens at 7.5 furlongs last time out, but it was September. But look at the trainer, one of my favorite guys here in the summertime at Gulfstream Park, Efren Lozer. He's 2 for 5. 40% with a limited sampling of a 180-day layoff, longer than 180-day layoff.
He is, and the interesting thing is that this horse, his 2 races on the dirt were actually pretty solid at the start of his career, and then his 1 turf race was really disappointing. It was followed by a big layoff, and he will turn back in distance to the 5 furlongs. So if he does show a little bit of speed, he's coming back as a gelding now, then he might just be in the right spot with a little bit less distance.
Well, that is the 9-race card on Wednesday afternoon. Main track is fast, turf course is firm. $93,000 plus in the Rainbow Six.
Should be a fun one. Good luck if you're playing.
We have to take care of these horses that, you know, give us so much joy.